Your attention, please. Your attention, please. The Belleville Henderson Central School Choir will now perform.
When the waves of Lake Ontario gently call us home, or when our father's fertile fields whisper to our own, it doesn't matter where we are, wherever far away. We are Belleville, Henderson, and we're proud to say, Panther pride is in our hearts, honor, love, and truth. This our Belleville Henderson gave us in our youth. So when home voices call us from wherever we may roam, we need just look inside our hearts to find ourselves at home. So hail to Belleville Henderson, our alma mater still. We sing the pride you've given us, and we always will.
If you are able, please rise for the Star Spangled Banner.
Good afternoon and welcome. Glad you all could make it. I'm here on behalf of the Town Board of the Town of Ellisburg, where I have the honor to serve as supervisor of the Town of Ellisburg. And today I'm going to offer a proclamation of celebration for this event. We're celebrating 200 years of educational and community service. Whereas the year 2026 marks the bicentennial anniversary of the founding of the Union Literary Society and the Union Academy of Belleville, institutions established in 1826 with the purpose of advancing education, intellectual development, civic responsibility, and community engagement in the town of Ellisburg and the surrounding region. And whereas the 2 centuries these institutions and their successors have provided generations of students with opportunities to learn, grow, and contribute meaningfully to society, helping to shape the character and the future of our community. And whereas the legacy of the Union Academy has endured through the continued commitment of public education in our region, carried forward by the Belleville Central School and subsequently by the Belleville Henderson Central School District, whose educators, staff, administrators, board members, families, and students have upheld a tradition of academic excellence and public service. And whereas the Union Academy Board of Trustees has preserved and promoted the values of scholarship, literature, history, and civic engagement, serving as a steward of local heritage and enduring symbol of the community's commitment to learning. And whereas the educational institutions of Belleville and Henderson have enriched the lives of countless residents, fostered lifelong learning, prepared students for responsible citizenship, and strengthened the social, cultural, and economic viability of the town of Ellisburg. And whereas the town of Ellisburg recognizes the extraordinary contribution made over the past 200 years by students, teachers, administrators, trustees, alumni, volunteers, and community supporters whose dedication has sustained this remarkable education legacy. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ellisburg hereby extends as sincere congratulations and deepest appreciation to the Union Literary Society, the Union Academy of Belleville, Belleville Central School, and Belleville Henderson Central School District in recognition of 200 years of continuous service, leadership, and commitment to education and community enrichment. Be it further resolved that the town of Ellisburg proudly commemorates the bicentennial milestone and encourages all residents to reflect upon and celebrate the enduring legacy these institutions whose contributions have helped shape generations of citizens and strengthen our community for 2 centuries. In witness whereof, the town board of the town of Ellisburg does hereby proclaim June 6, 2026 as a day of celebration and recognition honoring the 200th anniversary of the Union Literary Society and the educational legacy of the Union Academy of Belleville, Belleville Central School, Belleville Henderson Central School District. This was adopted on the 4th day of June 2026 and signed by myself and our town clerk, Debbie Payne, town councilman, Donald Goodenough, councilman Mike Hubbard, councilman Kirk Gerke, and councilman Joel Bovee. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Very nice, and we appreciate your leadership and the support of the town of Ellisburg. At this point, can we just stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon and welcome. It's nice to see so many familiar faces and people, whether they've come from down the road or across the country to come commemorate this event. It's just nice to see everybody, and it's an important day. Welcome to the Union Academy of Belleville Board of Trustees sponsored event, the 200th anniversary of the formation of the Union Literacy Society, Union Academy of Belleville, Belleville Henderson School, and now the Belleville Henderson Central Schools. Introduce myself, I'm Barry Ormsby, President of the Union of the Belleville Board of Trustees. I just want to say I take a lot of pride, and I'm honored to be part of this board. We just have so many hardworking people that are within this organization that oversee the buildings and grounds, the bell tower, the fiscal responsibility of administering all the scholarships each year, and just the work that gets done. I'm just blessed to have people surrounding us that give this job and believe very much in the heritage of our district here. So we have a lot that most school districts can't boast. So would all current and honorary trustees please stand or raise your hand? Very good. Would all current and past employees of the district please stand to raise their hand? Before we begin the program, I just want to notate we have bathrooms right behind us and Porter John's right here around the corner, so I want to make that right by the fuel tanks. How'd I say that? If you need a program, please raise your hand and we'll make sure that you get one. I've had a few people handing them out. We'd like to thank the 4 trustees whose vision is to celebrate the bicentennial: Melanie Smith Golding, Mary Lee Bettinger, Lydia Millard Miller, and Kirk Williams, as well as the support of the entire Board of Trustees. We also want to thank the Belleville Henderson administration, J.W. Allen, Tedra Bean, Rusty Korn, the Belleville Fire Department, Sarah and John Gleason, Steve Jones, Dr. Dave Cole, Tim Lake, Katie McGrath, the area Methodist churches, Adam Passage and the BHCS custodial staff, Gary Rhodes, Kathy Sidmore, Brandon Cook at Hart Printing, Morgan Williams and the Black Knights. Please note if we missed anyone, it was not intentional. We sincerely thank everyone. Thank you to the BHCS art teacher Sarah Fowler and her art students for creating the logo for the celebration. The students submitted a wonderful range of ideas for the logo. Please stand. Sarah here. Okay. We would be remiss if we didn't mention Morris Heron, now deceased trustee, for the accurate and factual information and publications that he had created. Brochures are available in the bell tower for additional information after the program. This event is being videotaped. Tours of the bell tower will be held beginning after the program. Please take a moment after the program to view the historical display. You'll see a large book labeled Book of Memory. This was a prop used 100 years ago at the Centennial pageant. Thank you to the Methodist churches for providing cookies and lemonade, and to Morgan Williams and the Black Knights for providing our water. Thank you for joining us for this momentous occasion to honor our past, present, and future educational endeavors. Please enjoy the presentations. I need to add, there is a QR code on the sign in front of the bell tower where people can watch the videos, and to the second floor and bell tower to the bell. This will take you to video of the bell tower. The first speaker will be Nancy Cobb, retired teacher and current trustee, who will start from the beginning. Thank you.
Hi. I'm going to talk about Joshua Bradley, who was at the beginning. A former principal of BHCS, Edward Martell, said, "Always remember that the last four letters of American are I can." The achievements of Joshua Bradley are achievements because of that attitude. Joshua Bradley, the founder of the Union Literary Society, now the Belleville Henderson Central School, had two passions, one for God and the other for education. Born in Randolph, Massachusetts in 1775, he was an apprentice to a shoemaker for 7 years. His desire for education was unquenchable. He did extra work enabling him to hire a tutor so he could understand God's Word. He financed his own secondary education by making a pair of shoes a day. He entered Brown University, graduating in 2 years. He was a teacher and a preacher who found that his calling was to start new churches in the school. He found his way to Ellis Village, now Ellisburg, and then to Clark's Mills, now Belleville, where he shared his I Can spirit. Before Reverend Bradley's arrival, local children attended classes in private homes. Reverend Bradley convinced their parents to form a school. It is said that he rode horseback throughout the towns of Ellisburg and Henderson again and again to convince people that one academic school with a teacher would help them prosper. His words fell on ears that wanted better conditions for their children, so in 1824 our school was opened at Mather's Mills with one teacher. Reverend Bradley wanted more. He wanted a new building. He convinced Giles Hall to give about 6 acres of land for the first building of the Union Literary Society. On April 13, 1826, an act of incorporation was obtained from the legislature by which a body corporate of 24 were to become the trustees. The erection of the school building was completed in 1826. Charles Avery, the principal, must be given much credit as he's the one who canvassed the county for students. Avery was introduced to Joseph Bonaparte, brother of Napoleon and ex-king of Spain, and convinced him to donate to the Union Literary Society. Reverend Bradley would go on to start 8 other educational institutions and many churches in the Northeast. He was the spark that lit fires for many years to come. His I can attitude never subsided. Union Literary Society did undergo many transitions as economic times dictated, but she persevered and grew and stayed true to her original standards of providing excellent education. While others in our country did not understand the importance of educating women, one can see by the number of young ladies enrolled in 1830, there were 40 ladies, that education for women was important to the rural community. I quote from Charles Snyder, former department head of history at SUNY Oswego. In pursuit of more thorough scholarships and a higher standard of culture, young ladies and gentlemen recited in the same classes and ate at the same tables. The spark of the I can attitude fueled the flames of ambition to succeed and make this world a better place, as so many of our graduates and instructors throughout these 200 years exemplify. We name here but a few of the passion-driven graduates. Charles Crittenden, founder of National Florence Crittenden Mission in New York City, founded 76 mission houses in the U.S. and abroad. Charles Finney, famous evangelist and contributor to the formation of the Salvation Army, was born in Henderson and was a UAB graduate. Major Jack Barney, who befriended Stonewall Jackson, was before the Civil War a lecturer at UAB. Major Barney was killed with 2 other UAB graduates at the Second Battle of Bull Run. You'll hear more about him later. Richard Overton, class of 1938, and Dr. David Cole, class of 1967, were chairmen and facilitators of the U.S. Farm Financial Standards Task Force in 1989. Those standards still are in use today. Dr. Charles Galpin, instructor and principal at UAB from 1891 to 1901, was a trailblazer of rural sociology and became the head of the U.S. Division of Farm Population and Rural Life from 1919 to 1934. Mr. Ted Green, BCS agriculture instructor from 52 to 70 and from 1974 to 1975, admitted Barbara Noley into the FFA 2 years before the National FFA organization admitted females. Jim Stockwell, basketball player at BCS, was named the Sunquist All-American Top 100 Men's Basketball Players in his senior year. He and his son Adam, class of 1992, are the only father-son combination in New York State to score over 2,000 career points. Jimmy's record was achieved without the three-point shot. BHCS has had various name changes over the years, with many local schools consolidating to become what we are now. But the educational vision remains the same. Thank you, Joshua Bradley, for fueling the fire that inspires us to remember the I can attitude as we go on to make the world a better place through education. Our next speaker is Jean Williams Appleby. Jean Williams Appleby is a UAB trustee and graduated from Belleville Central School in 1980. She was a Belleville Henderson Central School substitute teacher from 2006 to 2018. She's proud to have written a poem in 5th grade about the bell tower, which was chosen to be included in that year's yearbook.
Thank you. And it's only appropriate that Nancy Cobb introduce me, because it was in her class that taught us haiku. Also, a side note, in my sophomore year, I wrote the Renaissance alphabet. Believe it or not, I got 100 from Mr. Kenneth McClear for that. Poetry has a wonderful way of weaving itself throughout our history. It was in our yearbooks, as well as our alma mater for UAB. Friar Butler Bowman Smith, 1892, a UAB graduate, wrote the UAB alma mater, which was first sung at the 1903 commencement exercises. She helped coordinate the 100th pageant in 1924 and was well published, author, named, and poet laureate of the Northern New York Federation of Women's Clubs. There is also a third verse to our alma mater. Norris Shepherdson, a student graduate from the UAB trustee, he created the first endowment for the Book of Memory. He was a farmer and a poet. Poetry is a collection of words selected, chosen to evoke emotions and feelings purposefully and thoughtfully. We honor you today, written by Susan R. Smith. To all our veterans, far and near, we thank you for our service for all those years. You sacrificed your time, and some gave your life. You preserved our freedom by willingly paying the price. Many of you were sent overseas. You were wounded in battle with scars and disease. But courageous and brave, you weathered the storm. You faced every battle with faith and beyond. We honor you with joy for all that you've done. You stood strong for our country, for our daughters and sons. So no one stands alone. We walk hand in hand. Remember, we are with you. Together we shall stand. We salute you today. Hear what we say. Let our words speak eloquently in this special way. On this day, let us express our love and thanks for sacrifice you paid. You served in honor for many years and days, and we will never forget how you were strong and brave. Our next speaker is Dwight Green, is a UAB trustee and member of the Belleville Central class of 1968. Thank you.
Good afternoon. To begin with, I'd like to ask any active duty military or military veterans that are with us today, I'd like to recognize them, and I'd ask that you'd stand as you are able to, so we may. Please. Thank you. Flags placed on the known veterans' graves in our local cemeteries for Memorial Day show the multitude of those who were directly or indirectly involved before and after our nation was founded. Before our country was formed, the Constitution was signed, there was the French and Indian Wars. There are two known veterans of the French and Indian War that settled in this area. One is Second Lieutenant John Bishop, one of the early settlers of Henderson. He also fought in the Revolution. He and his wife are believed to be buried on the family gravesite along Bishop Street. Bishop was said to have given the name Bay of Naples to what we know as Henderson Harbor. I guess it didn't stick. Another local was Peter Dockstader of Adams. He too fought in the French and Indian War. As a reward for their service, Revolutionary War veterans were given land grants in places like Onondaga County. There were no such grants in this area. But some of these men had been stationed in places like Oswego and Sackett's Harbor, and when they saw the richness of the land up here, they sold their land in central New York and purchased land here from speculators such as William Pierpont. One of the best known historical events during the War of 1812 was a cable carry. That began at the mouth of South Sandy Creek in Ellisburg and continued along a dirt trail through the woods north to Sackett's Harbor. A lengthy caravan of ox-drawn carts carried guns, ship cables, and other supplies to Sackett's Harbor. There was one item, a length of rope, 6 inches in diameter, 600 feet long, and weighing just under 5 tons, that had not been moved. This was intended for the anchor line for the USS Superior, which was a huge new frigate being built in Sackett's Harbor. There wasn't a cart big enough to handle it all. So to move this cable, a section of rope was placed in the cart, and then the remaining cable was carried on the shoulders of militiamen and locals, who carried it overland along a dirt tract from South Sandy Creek to Sackett's Harbor. They arrived the next afternoon. Each man who helped carry the cable arrived at Sackett's Harbor with badly bruised shoulders. And for doing that, they received $2. The USS Superior turned the tables on the British, helping to establish then the American dominance on Lake Ontario. It was thanks in no small part to the I can attitude exemplified by the North Country pioneer folks. War of 1812 veteran John Barney witnessed the Battle of Sackett's Harbor. He had moved here to Jefferson County in 1805. He was a trustee of Union Academy of Belleville and contributed generously to the school. He lived to see his son, Hiram, serve as principal of Union Academy. Hiram later went on to become the state school superintendent of common schools in the state of Ohio. John's grandson, Calvin Littlefield, also served as principal here at Union Academy. Another veteran, Major Jack Barney, Union soldier, graduate, and teacher here at Union Academy of Belleville, was killed during the Second Battle of Bull Run. Later, after the battle, when Confederate Lieutenant General Thomas Stonewall Jackson was touring the battlefield, he recognized Barney's body. He had met and befriended Jack while spending time with Jack's uncle in Henderson. He ordered the body removed, embalmed, and transferred to the Union soldiers to be returned to Belleville for internment. 2 other soldiers from this area were also returned that day. An estimated 3,000 to 7,000 people attended Barney's funeral. He is interred in Woodside Cemetery, just outside of Belleville. This event remains one of the Academy's best remembered events. Jefferson County, New York, has always answered when duty to country has called. Service to our country is deeply ingrained in many citizens. One has only to look around to see the men and women who answered the call to defend our freedoms. Go into the bell tower and see the World War II memorial plaque that hung outside the principal's office on the 2nd floor in the old school. It's now on the 2nd floor of the bell tower. Many gave their lives so that we could enjoy our present-day freedoms. We will always celebrate you. We are deeply indebted to you for your service. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jill Bettinger-Pippin. She is a UAB trustee and a fourth-generation alum who graduated in 1991 from Belleville Henderson Central School. Her great-grandmother, Lula Martin Lee, graduated in 1908, followed by her grandfather, Howard Lee, in 1933, and her parents, Mary Lee and Brian Bettinger, in 1968. She's currently employed as Dean of the Division of Extended Learning at SUNY Oswego. Jill?
Thank you, Dwight. Hello, everyone. Our Bicentennial logo is honoring the past, looking to the future. It is because of our shared past that we are able to plan for a future in this world. Times and methods have changed, but the true spirit of our forefathers remains ingrained in us today. Many of the original settlers in the Belleville, Henderson, and Ellisburg areas came from New England, descendants of the people that landed at Plymouth Rock, as well as many others who left their native lands to start or join a new world. Years later, this inherited passion for independence fueled the Revolutionary War, and many of those veterans brought their independent spirit and families to Jefferson County, New York, as you just heard. The original settlers understood the importance of education. A mere 50 years after our country's independence was won, the Union Literary Society was established on this spot. On April 9th, 1795, the Colonial Assembly of New York passed a resolution for a schoolmaster to educate children and read and write the English language. On April 13th, 1826, the Union Literary Society trustees were granted an educational charter. By 1830, the Union Literary Society made the local news when the Watertown paper reported, "A few farmers and others in the vicinity of Belleville have established an academy at that place, highly creditable to themselves and useful to this county. An institution of this kind has been needed, and parents have been compelled to send their sons to Lowville, 45 miles away, or Fairfield, 140 miles away." There is no mention of young ladies being educated far from home, so it is interesting to note that by 1830, as you heard earlier, 40 young ladies, along with 95 young gentlemen, were enrolled in the Union Literary Society. The young ladies had their own building and were guided by a female instructor who resided in that building with them. According to the catalog of the trustees, officers, and students of the Union Academy for the year ending December 22nd, 1830, the first term of the ensuing year will commence on Thursday, the 5th of January. Terms of tuition as usual. The course offerings were reading, writing, common arithmetic, English, grammar, and geography at $16 per year. For the courses history, geometry, algebra, rhetoric, logic, bookkeeping, surveying, navigation, trigonometry, the Constitution of the United States, Grecian and Roman antiquities, geography with the use of globes and map drawing, natural philosophy, chemistry, botany, of moral and intellectual philosophy, drawing and Chinese painting, and the Latin and Greek language cost a mere $20 per year. Academic excellence was established, but in the mid-1830s, the Union Literary Society would fall on monetary hard times and the school closed for 3 years. Calvin and Priscilla Clark, farmers in Belleville, advanced funds to repossess the building, and classes were again in session by 1840. Attendance averaged about 93 in the 1840s and 214 students in the 1850s. The year 1861 brought a name change to the Union Literary Society. The school became Union Academy at Belleville. The student population grew, and by the 1870s, students had the choice of 3 departments: academic, music, and teaching. Academic majors received instruction in Greek, Latin, German and French grammar, and literature, and a broad spectrum of courses in math, science, mental and moral philosophy, and English literature. The music major emphasized competence on the piano and music appreciation, and the teaching major included instruction in all areas of study taught in district schools and the best methods of teaching them. Students in the teaching major paid no tuition. While the early 1870s enjoyed robust student enrollment, this declined by 1875, and the school became burdened by debt. However, Norris N. M. Shepherdson, president of the Board of Trustees, proposed an endowment as a memorial to the martyr Jack Barney and other heroes of the Civil War. The Book of Memory, over there, was established, where names worthy of remembrance might be recorded when accompanied by a $100 pledge. The proposal was accepted and hailed by such notable educators as Professor N.L. Andrews of Colgate University. Those in favor of the endowment plan endorsed the values of coeducation and the immeasurable value of Union Academy to the region it served. The endowment funds have grown over the years through contributions from families and citizens who wish to provide scholarships to graduates of UAB, BCS, and BHCS. One of the largest contributors is Miss Lila Bull, who left $1 million to the UAB Board of Trustees to be used for scholarships given to seniors and alumni. Ms. Bull and others recognize the need for education to continue after graduation from BHCS, and this fund still exists to this day. By the way, if you're interested, applications for these scholarships are on the BHCS website. Any alumna of UAB, BCS, and BHCS just need to apply and produce the proper documentation to be awarded scholarship money. Returning to the turn of the 19th century, it is important to highlight an educational hallmark at Union Academy at Belleville. Just a moment. I draw your attention now to a passionate leader in the field of education, Dr. Charles Galpin. An exceptional teacher from 1885 to 1891 and principal from 1891 to 1900. During his 15-year tenure at UAB, students had a choice of 8 different majors. Classical Latin, German, French, English, music, art, and reading. Those preparing for teaching could take the normal course during their senior year, which helped them with confidence in teaching methods. The academic rigor of study at this time was such that UAB graduates of classical and Latin courses were admitted on the principal's certificate, that's without examination, to institutions such as Brown University, Lafayette College, Hamilton College, Colgate University, Rochester University, Union College, and Vassar College. Dr. Galpin also saw the need for education in agriculture and helped establish the first Department of Agriculture in a U.S. high school, right here in Belleville, New York. In 1901, he obtained $10,000 from the Mather family to begin the Mather's School of Agriculture. He recognized the scientific underpinnings of agriculture that were essential to current students and future generations in this farm community. Perhaps inspired by the recognition of new contemporary areas of study, in 1902, Gertrude Chapman, Mrs. George Bull, and Mrs. Florence Mather started a course in home economics for the young ladies. This course recognized the importance of women in rural family life. Dr. Galpin would go on to head the Division of Farm Population and Rural Life at the USDA. The reach of his contributions extended far beyond rural sociology to include contributions in ecology and public health. He published 112 works and 245 publications and has 2,667 library holdings, which are physical items like books or journal articles. Dr. Galpin returned to UAB on October 4th, 1924 to speak with H.E. Mackold at the ceremony to unveil the memorial tablet you see at the foot of the bell tower, in honor of Fred Williams, the donor of Williams Park and friend of Dr. Galpin. Belleville was not the only place that valued education. Many small settlements had schools, such as Bishop Street, Mather's Mills, Roberts Corners, Woodville, and Ellisburg. These are but a few of the 13 outlying one-room schoolhouses which were consolidated into the UAB school district in 1931, creating the Belleville Central School District. Another innovative educational hallmark to highlight from this institution's past includes international education and cultural exposure of BCS students. which became possible with 2 spring break vacation trips to Germany and Austria in 1977 and 1979. After these successful visits, the concept of an exchange program with schools in Germany was born. German educator Karl Bingle accepted Brigitte Williams' invitation to join South Jefferson Central in the German-American Partnership Program. In August of 1979, the first UAB exchange group spent a month with families in the German Saarland. In turn, German students came to our families for a month. School attendance was required. In 1981, Carl and Jana Green Bingle, class of 73, led the first group to Emden, Germany, a port city on the North Sea. Exchanges took place every 2 to 3 years as world events allowed. BCS and later BHCS remained in partnership with Emden School for 25 years. Well over 100 students crossed the Atlantic and lived in Germany. Several local families remain in contact with their partner families in Germany to this day. These friendships and personal contact with European life was an invaluable experience for participating students, providing them increased adaptability and cultural empathy while boosting language skills through immersion. Anybody here take part in that? Raise your hand. Then you can speak to it. I was jealous. I took French. I couldn't go. Another major inflection point in our history occurred in 1984 when Henderson Central School joined with Belleville to form the Belleville-Henderson Central School District. A new building was built and occupied in the fall of 1991, over there. And as a member of the graduating class of 1991, some of my last moments as a student were breaking ground on that site. Once again, the community showed it valued education by creating new surroundings to house the all-important education of its youth. Our logo, honoring the past, looking to the future, was created by Sarah Fowler's art students here at BHCS. We embrace their spirit of looking to the future as we remember the importance of their preparation for the world, which is filled with new challenges and opportunities. Many of our ancestors drove teams of horses to school, navigating foul weather and other obstacles. I'm sure it was uphill too, and snowing. While our school-aged children don't have to do that, they have many other challenges to overcome. Let us support them in their quest for quality education with the same passion that our ancestors showed. Now, I give you Belleville-Henderson Central School's new superintendent, Timothy Filatra. He graduated from SUNY Potsdam with a bachelor's and a master's degree in math and elementary education. He received his administrative degree from SUNY Oswego in 2018, and he worked at Thousand Islands Central School for 20 years and was principal at Sandy Creek for nine years. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Jill. Good afternoon. It is truly an honor for me to stand before you today as the current superintendent of Belleville-Henderson Central School. BHCS is proud to continue the excellent education which was established by past generations. Our current enrollment is 470 students, grades pre-K through 12, and we offer courses and programs which help prepare our students for success in an ever-changing world. We follow state mandates when designing our courses, but we go beyond by offering courses for college credit as well. Students may enroll in JCC's EDGE program, allowing them to take English 101, 102, pre-calculus, elementary statistics, calculus 1 and 2. We also offer Spanish as a second language. Our business courses are careers, computing, financial management, business law, and accounting. Included with that is career and financial math. We offer career skills to our middle school students. We partner with Northern Credit Union and bring an activity called Mad Money to our students. Mad Money gives our teens a taste of the real world with hands-on learning experience that's designed to teach personal finance concepts and life skills. The Agriculture Department offers animal science, conservation science, food science, agricultural leadership, agricultural business. Technology is constantly changing, and we have changed with it by offering courses in construction, design and drawing, computer-aided design and architecture, and basic woodworking. Our core of English, history, science, math, physical education, and health remains solid at BHCS. If our students require specialized education, they will receive that through our departments at BHCS. It is now my privilege to introduce to you Mrs. Emily Warden. Emily Warden is the current Belleville Henderson Central School Pre-K-12 principal. She joined BHCS as the special education chair. She has a master's degree in elementary education, is a literary specialist, has a special education and education leadership degree. Emily is the school's first female principal in 200 years. Welcome, Emily.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is pretty special. So BHCS also participates in the many off-campus opportunities for our students. They may elect to go to the Bolin Technical Center at Jefferson Lewis Boces in order to receive training that will allow them to enter the workforce upon graduation. The list of programs involve a vast list of courses including medical, automotive, culinary, electric, computer, environmental, cosmetology, criminal justice, and veterinary fields. Students typically spend half of their day at BOCES centers and then return home to Belleville Henderson, where they receive their core classes in history and English. The New Visions program prepares our seniors for our medical schools and other healthcare trainings. They also have the opportunity to earn 20 college credits towards a 2-year degree at JCC. Opportunities like this that we offer our graduates help shape our nation in many ways. We're proud to celebrate our past and our future as the education system to meet our students' needs yesterday and today. I would now like to introduce 4 of our students, current students at Belleville Henderson. Cameron Hodge. Cameron is a member of the class of 2026. He serves as our vice president. He is the president of the Belleville Henderson FFA, a member of the National Honor Society, World Language Club, and is our student representative on the school board. Cameron also serves as the captain of the varsity soccer team and was a member of the varsity basketball and baseball teams. Next year, Cameron plans to attend Clarkson University and major in civil engineering. Charles Hyman. Charles Hyman is a member of the class of 2027. He's the treasurer of the Belleville Henderson FFA, also a member of the National Honor Society and the World Language Club. Charles is a captain of our varsity soccer team and has played varsity basketball. Charles currently works on his family farm, Highlight Farms, LLC, and was recently recognized by the New York State FFA Convention as a state star in the agriculture placement. Landon Abbott. Landon Abbott is a member of the class of 2028. He is a sentinel of the Belleville Henderson FFA and very active in participating in a variety of contests of dairy judging and to the public speaking. Landon recently joined the Ellisburg Fire Department and works on Infinity Farms in Belleville. Madeline Green. Madeline is a member of the class of 2026 as well. She's the vice president and the member of FFA, a member of the National Honor Society, and plans to attend SUNY College for Environmental Science and Forestry in the fall, majoring in environmental biology.
Thank you, Mrs. Warden. The Union Academy of Belleville has an illustrious history. Our bicentennial is a testament to our local community's involvement for its preservation. Adaptation to change is essential to stay relevant in an ever-changing world. We, as a community, must decide what is important to us and sustain our heritage for a fruitful and rewarding future. Understanding the past builds a stronger tomorrow. Knowing our local history fosters empathy and a deeper sense of identity. We are a family through our culture, our traditions, and our institutions. The beginning theme of why folks settled in this area is because of agriculture. Our Belleville and Henderson area is blessed with conditions that are advantageous for Northeast agriculture. Southern Jefferson County possesses loam soils and rolling topography as well as longer growing season because of its proximity to Lake Ontario. This area also had railroads which would provide transportation to markets. These factors brought many industrious farmers to our region. Early settlers in this community were more diverse in agriculture production. Local farmers grew peas, beans, orchard crops, and cereal grains. Animal production was diverse as well, with horses, sheep, swine, beef, and dairy cows. Settlements were established around 1802. Belleville, Woodville, and Ellisburg were favorably suited for milling purposes, which then grew into present villages. Almost all the settlers came from eastern New York and New England, with English, Irish, and German extraction. By the 1870s, there were 928 farms established from Henderson to the south of Ellisburg. Early names included Converse, Bull, Eastman, Brody, Mather, Overton, Zaire, Barney, Clark, Davis, Mackle, Williams, as well as many others. Cushman Davis was born on Bishop Street. He became governor of Minnesota and later a U.S. senator from that state. Mr. Davis negotiated a treaty between the U.S. and Spain to end the Spanish-American War in 1898.
Early farming life in our area led to some interesting farm management strategies. In 1803, there was a wolf bounty of $2.50, which went up to $10 per pellet in 1812. There was also a bounty for panthers for $5 in 1809. The $10 bounty in 1812 in today's economy would be $130. These rewards were no doubt for the protection of livestock. Also in 1812, the local agriculture council voted to have Canadian thistle be mowed in the months of June, July, and August, after the old of the moon. The phrase "after the old of the moon" means any time after a full moon. This horticulture practice was to stop the advancements of noxious weeds to neighboring pastures. Advancement agriculture sciences and biology have grown exponentially over the years. Agricultural research development through Cornell University and other land-grant colleges has led to our nation to have the most highly sophisticated and technology-advanced food production system in the world. These new advancements in agricultural production are delivered to our farmers through cooperative extensions, ag businesses, consultants, and agriculture teachers, also other media platforms. In today's agriculture profile, there are fewer but larger farms that basically operate on the same number of acres. Farms have increased in size to increase efficiency. This economy of scale helps farmers maintain profitability despite tight margins. Small farms are more likely to use sustainable and regenerative practices to contribute food security through crop diversity. Many small farms rely on diverse income streams and direct consumer sales and community support. The latest USDA data shows small family farms still make up 89% of the farms in the United States.
A strong production agriculture community that we are blessed with directly fuels the growth of other businesses. Research shows that a $1 increase in farm income can generate $1.57 in additional non-farm income in rural areas. This spending supports local businesses such as mechanics, merchants, equipment suppliers, and service providers. Our county presently operates 204,000 acres of farmland that generates $420 million annually in crop and livestock sales. Our agricultural education program at UAB Belleville was established in 1901 by the generous donation of William Mather and family. There were 4 Mather brothers who were very successful farmers and operated land near the intersection of Route 75 and Route 178. They believed in agricultural education was critical for the future success of local farming and agricultural businesses. These agricultural classes at UAB were formerly the first in the nation to be offered at a high school level. Land-grant colleges that offered agricultural courses for college students were established in 1862 with the passage of the Morrill Act and signed into law by Abraham Lincoln. There were a few high schools that offered agricultural classes in Virginia in the late 1890s, but these schools were closed and student populations were merged into larger districts. This makes high school agriculture classes at UAB Belleville Henderson the oldest continuously running program in the country. The gift by William Mather in 1901 was $10,000, which in today's value was over $300,000. The Smith-Hughes Act was passed in 1917. This national law established that vocational agriculture can formally be established in rural high schools throughout the country to educate our youth in new farming methods and techniques. National politicians realized the importance of the food and fiber industry to feed our nation's populations. The continued education for farmers is critical and is the cornerstone for food security and economic resilience.
The Agriculture Student Organization, Future Farmers of America, was started in 1928. The FFA program chapter at Belleville was established in 1939. Our organization's name was changed to the National FFA Organization in 1988. Agriculture education programs and FFA prepare students for careers in agricultural production, natural resources, and agricultural industries. The wide variety of courses include animal science, animal husbandry, plant and horticulture science, agricultural mechanics, technology, natural resources, biotechnology, business management, food science, communication, and leadership skills. All the programs are included in a 3-part model of classroom education, supervised agricultural experience programs, and FFA leadership skills. There are 13,500 FFA members in New York, with over 1 million students nationwide. Even if students choose other occupations, the agriculture curriculum and FFA experience will provide valuable knowledge for rural living, which makes them better informed consumers. FFA members develop personal growth and character through community service projects. We have good reason to be proud of our agricultural history at UAB Belleville Henderson. Farming was the main reason why folks settled here, and the importance of agriculture cannot be understated. In a letter to George Washington in 1787, Thomas Jefferson wanted to emphasize the foundational role of agriculture in national prosperity, virtue, and independence. His quote is, "Agriculture is our wisest pursuit, because it will in the end contribute most to real wealth, good morals, and happiness." Farmers and their families came here to southern Jefferson County to cultivate fields and raise livestock and build good schools, which are foundational for stronger and more vibrant communities. Stronger schools foster community cohesion and civil engagement. Community schools serve as hubs for health, social services, and cultural activities. Investing in education is our responsibility for the public good. We have been taught great lessons for people who have come before us. Let us take this guidance and spirit to continue with foresight for the betterment of our schools and communities. Our next speaker is Marissa K. Zayer-Riordan. She is a UAB trustee and is currently the board secretary. She graduated from Belleville Henderson Central School in 1994. She's a 4th-generation alum. Her grandmother, Ella Brimmer Ainsworth, class of 1936, provided original pictures of the fire. Marissa is the BHCS District Treasurer.
Good afternoon. I'm going to be speaking on the fire. 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 On January 29th, 1923, fire was discovered in the main building, which soon spread to the older stone building. Local fire equipment was inadequate, and bad roads delayed help from Adams, so that both school buildings were completely destroyed. The furnishings of the agricultural, music, and recently established homemaking departments were consumed by fire. Only the contents of the principal's office, including the books of memory and the bell tower, were saved. The school buildings were a complete loss. By noon of that day, the Board of Trustees met and secured the Baptist and Catholic churches for classes, as well as the business clock owned by C.M. Overton. Local farmers and other citizens donated items for school to reopen, and within 4 days, classes resumed. Decisions had to be made. Should the community rebuild the school, and how? The school must be rebuilt. The solution was made to form committees to handle this huge project. The Finance Committee consisted of William K. Mott, Dr. Lois L. Gannett, and Niles Chapman. The Building Committee included Charles Hudson, George M. Wood, A. F. Lockwood, Gertrude Chapman, and William Mather. The Cleanup Committee consisted of Charles B. Eastman, Jesse D. Fulton. The Finance Committee appointed Florence N. Mather to act as treasurer, and Seymour Eastman, George Bull, and William Carpenter made up the auditing committee. At the time of the fire, H.E. Mockhold, local businessman and farmer, was the New York State Speaker of the Assembly. He proposed the addition of a campaign manager to help raise funds for the rebuilding. Mockhold paid for this manager, as well as donated to the campaign to raise funds. A second public meeting was held in the Methodist Church, where $17,000 was pledged in one night. The Finance Committee sent a letter of plea to former students and the community, soliciting for monetary pledges to rebuild the school. They offered 4 plans of payments, one as little as $5, as an option. The letter ended with this: "Give for Old Union, for the memory of her splendid past and the hope of her glorious future." The response was overwhelming. By the fall of 1925, the building was ready for classes. Union Academy, 1824 to 1974. The I can spirit once again prevailed. Our next speaker is David Green. David is an UAB trustee and a 1988 graduate of Belleville Henderson Central School. He is currently a mathematics educator, an EDGE instructor, and the varsity softball coach.
What do you remember most about high school? Lots of things, but we're going to talk about the extracurricular activities. Many people can tell you specific memories about their activities like it was yesterday. I can remember individual games that I played as a student athlete. And actually, I still have memories of teams that I have coached over the last 30 years where I can tell you the same things. We polled graduates and teachers of Belleville Central School and Belleville Henderson Central School to find out how extracurricular activities impacted their school lives. A graduate of 1956 said that her school activities like cheerleading, marching band, volleyball, and soccer allowed her to enjoy fun times after school. Marching band took her places she had not been, and sports kept her active and motivated to stay healthy. She made friends and she learned skills that she didn't learn in the school setting with education. Another graduate reported on his love for school musicals. He said that the skills he learned from Mrs. Gleason and Mrs. Shearer helped him audition and sing at Carnegie Hall. A former volleyball coach said one of the proudest moments was when the black hole was established. And we know who that is. Ann Colby was such a big part of that, as evident by that cheer during timeouts. Colby, Colby, until she acknowledged the crowd. That was so much fun for the students. An educator and player on the Belleville Central School streak, a basketball streak of 104 wins, commented that the streak drew the community and the school closer together. Under the leadership of Tom Murphy and Steve Van Duzen, they learned discipline, teamwork, and focus. The streak from 1966 to 1971 remains a New York State record and is still in the top 5 of the national records. Absolutely. All of these achievements would not be possible without dedicated people who are willing to fund and lead extracurricular activities. After-school programs are important because they offer ways to sharpen social skills used for successful learning. They promote academic and professional growth, skill development, physical and mental well-being, social connections, college and career readiness, and foster empathy and resilience. Extracurricular activities such as athletics and FFA have provided leadership opportunities that go beyond just participating. They give our leaders of tomorrow a chance to advance their skills, to bring a group together and find ways to improve conditions in different areas of life. Throughout the years, Belleville Henderson Central School has participated in many after-school activities such as athletics, FFA, bands such as chorus or concert, marching band, jazz band, stage band, chorus, musicals, senior plays, 4-H, tech club, trap, and many others. Each activity may lead to different skills, but they have all provided students with opportunities to work towards common goals by encouraging teamwork and togetherness. These activities have given students skills and memories that will last a lifetime. My memories of these activities during the time that I spent at Belleville Central School and Belleville Henderson Central School have helped shape the values that I've tried to pass on to students over the last 30 years. I can remember growing up watching basketball teams in the 1970s with UAB stitched on their uniforms, which, by the way, I always try to talk to my groups about what it means to have Panthers written on that uniform and the legacy that comes before from everybody before we did this. I tried to emulate them because I wanted to wear that uniform someday with the pride of the example those teams that were set for me. My earliest memories of those teams, led by Sean Baker, gave me the courage and desire to better my skills and work hard so I could represent my family, my school, and my community. Sean once told me to remember that every member of a team is important. Those that worked hard and maybe they didn't get as much playing time are the ones that are going to go on to help lead our communities because they learned work ethic and team-first mentality. Greg Golding was passionate about passing on knowledge and skills to me as an athlete. And then years later, as my coaching mentor, I sat on his bench when I first got into coaching. his stories about the winning streak, about priorities, and I can still hear those 4 priorities in my head. And what he learned over the years was so inspiring to me. Pete Trowbridge gave me the confidence that I could achieve many things. Without their guidance, I would not have had the courage and the opportunity to have a lasting lifetime memory playing in the great Jerry Welsh's program at SUNY Potsdam. Those memories have left me with lifetime friendships. And as a side note, in 1991, our Potsdam team won the ECAC Upstate Tournament. We beat Hamilton College, which was led by legendary coach Tom Murphy, who was a big part of our history here at Belleville Central School. Isn't it funny how life comes full circle? My friends and I have looked back over the years fondly about those experiences and opportunities that those activities provided us. We play on successful teams together, but it was also just important as those made us go out and wanted to play pickup games in a parking lot, which was always a great game going on over here behind the old school every night. Or at Everly's barn, where, by the way, Matthew welded us a breakaway rim with combine springs and everything. So. And then we played 2-on-2 games at each other's houses, and we had home run derbies right over here, thinking we were home run hitters. All of that inspired by what our coaches inspired in us. As a leader of what used to be our yearly senior play, Charlotte Bryant taught us to have the courage to come out of our comfort zone and act on stage and have fun doing it. Can you believe my part was Coach Baxter? The name of the play was Wild About Harry. Mrs. Bryant cast me well in that role. Must be she knew something about the future. Steve Jones taught us hard work. Preparing us for competitions would be a lifelong skill, but just as important was the constant positive encouragement. Our early morning stage band practices, playing popular music. We got to play theme to Rocky, Star Wars. We had night practices for marching band with Rick Bedore. Prepared us to perform at judges' stands during parades, allowed us to appreciate instrumental music, and to this day, anyone who was a cheerleader can still do that cheer, and you know what I'm talking about, after singing the alma mater with pride. As a coach for the last 30 years, I have seen firsthand what school activities have done to help our students feel a sense of pride, building lasting memories and lifelong friendships. I see it when I go to weddings or gatherings of my former students and the friends that they made in school playing on teams together. I feel it when I talk to my former student athletes. They reminisce about all of the successes and time they had as a team, whether it was the Frontier League titles in the late 2000s, especially when we took a basketball three-peat, which was very special to me because my son Ryan was a manager and he got to see what it meant to be a part of something great. Or the Section 3 runs we made in softball. That run in 2018 was super special since it was with my daughter Ashley and her friends. However, just as important as the successes were, the memories of practices and spent time together, they still talk about it to this day. Years later, I would play pickup games over at our new school with many of my former student athletes, and they would pick right up talking about those games like they were yesterday. Funny stories are told, and even the softball team probably would remember the glove on the tree story. I have tried to pass on the importance of the history of our school and the importance of extracurricular activities to my students. Teamwork, work ethic, confidence, joy, passion, and pride are the result of what our students have gained and will continue to gain by participating in school activities. We are so proud to have the support at these activities. Our musicals, concerts, and athletic competitions are so well attended. The softball team will never forget that community support that day in 2018 at Carrier Park. They were in awe of all of the people lined up around the fence there for them. The basketball teams, past and present, will remember the standing room games only at Belleville Central School and at Belleville Henderson Central School, and also at Jefferson Community College, where we played the playoff games. Many of you here today have been a part of those school activities over the years. Another big part of passing these values on is that some of my former players are continuing that tradition by giving back, working with our youth. Ever Vaughn, Greg Gibbs, Tony Barney, Devin Shelmadine, Kyle Bryant, Tyler Abbott, David Christian, that's just to name a few. There are so many others that are giving back. Thanks to the many people who have given their time to teach us the skills and have allowed us to shine brightly. Their guidance has given so much. The sense of community we have here by supporting each other is what makes this school and community such a wonderful place to live and work. Belleville Henderson Central School is more than an institution of learning. Belleville Henderson Central School is a spirit that started 200 years ago and has inspired the young ladies and gentlemen to carry that spirit on for a lifetime. Our next speaker is Charlotte Reed Bryant. Charlotte Reed Bryant is a Union Academy Belleville trustee and graduated from Belleville Central School in 1971. She worked in the private sector for many years. Charlotte became an English teacher at Belleville Central School and retired from Belleville Henderson Central School after 29 years.
Wow. That's a tough act to follow, David Green. Good afternoon. If we were to ask you what the bell tower means to you, would you make statements like this? My mom told me and my sisters that if we weren't home shortly after the bell rang 5 times in the afternoon, we were in big trouble. Or maybe the bell tolled as you worked in your garden or played on the playground. The bell called people to church and also told the minister when to wrap up the sermon. Our community has learned to lean on this stalwart tower to help us organize our days. This has been the case for many generations. The bell tower, we've heard about it a few times already today, was built in 1845 by the settlers of Belleville. The tolling of the bells provided the time, called people to church and school, and informed them of fires. The tower is 24 feet square and has 3 floors with the bell chamber on top. It was originally located in front of the old school building, but was moved slightly south in 1858. During this move, the bell was cracked, and a new bell was cast by a company in Troy, New York, and was then shipped by rail to Pierpont Manor, and then by sleigh to Belleville. And in 1954, the bell tower was moved to its current location, standing watch at the entrance to Williams Park. Originally, the ringing was accomplished manually by a caretaker every hour. Next, a system of weights was used, wound once a day by that caretaker. But presently, the bell is rung using a computerized system. Our bell tower has not only tolled the hour for 181 years, but has also housed a destitute mother and her children, provided space for the Village Common School District in the 1870s, housed some agricultural classes in the 1950s, held athletic equipment in the mid-1900s, and hosted many open houses and tours. The bell tower remains today because of the UAB trustees and the BHCS custodial staff. The trustees provided the money for new steel girders and paint and remain entrusted with its care, ensuring that the structure and the tolling bell live for generations. Our bell tower literally stands in the park, but symbolically, it rises as the tower of a shared tradition. And the bell tower will be open for tours after this program, and you can get additional information at the bell tower. Thank you. And it is my pleasure to introduce Heather Williams. Heather is the daughter of Jean and Fred and the great-great-granddaughter of Frederick Williams, the donor of Williams Park. Heather is a project manager for Lockheed Martin and resides in Mount Laurel, New Jersey with her family. She enjoys spending time in the summer at her cottage in Snowshoe Bay. Heather.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'd like to begin by sharing with you the poem that is found on the Williams Park Monument. What does he who plants a tree? He plants in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty, and far-cast thought of civic good. His blessing on the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of our land. A nation's growth from sea to sea stirs in his heart who plants a tree. Today, we sit adjacent to Williams Park. We pause to honor our past by remembering Fred Williams. He so respected our community and educational system that he donated his fertile land to become a public park. He wanted to create an everlasting memorial to the hard work of our forefathers. He didn't realize how important this park would become to so many generations from 1904 until now, 2026. Mr. Frederick Williams was born, raised, and educated in Belleville. He shared his spirit with all those who defied the wilderness to bring settlement here. He was a farmer who was deeply interested in agriculture and his community. He was a director of the Farmers National Bank in Adams, New York, a member of the Baptist Church, and an entrepreneur who created a highly successful seed business, and lastly, a real estate investor. As time passed, his support of Union Academy was reflected by working as a trustee, president, and treasurer of the Board of Trustees. In 1904, this led him to purchase a 6-acre open field behind and adjoining the Academy, specifically for the purpose of creating a beautiful park for the community to enjoy. To accomplish this vision, he instructed farm workers to plant 30 varieties of trees in this open field. In years of drought, his hired workers hauled water to keep the park alive and green. On October 4th, 1924, at the dedication of the memorial tablet here at the entrance of the park, Dr. Charles Galpin, former UAB principal and teacher, shared that his relationship with Mr. Williams influenced his life profoundly. I quote, "He was a thinker, reflective, meditative, never just talked to pass time. When he was silent, you felt his mind working, always pushing forward. He knew his own mind. His principles gave him the philosophy of action. When others were floundering in doubt, Fred Williams had poise, because he believed in his principles to guide him. His mind seemed to be controlled by this one of his fixed principles. How will this thing affect, for better or for worse, this community and society as it is organized? It was out of this care for community that this splendid gift of a park grew. He seemed to do the thing which otherwise would have been long forgotten, left undone. However, his very essence is still here today. He loved trees. He was a man of positive opinions. While at times differing from his friends in thought, he was so evidently sincere and honest in his convictions that made him no enemies. He was respected and loved by all who knew him. Mr. Williams was in the habit of hitching his horse in the church sheds, sauntering over to the park, hands behind his back, looking at the academy, its grove in front and the stretch of campus. End quote. One might wonder if he contemplated how long this peaceful scene might last. Today, 122 years later, we are the beneficiaries of that vision. He created a conflict-free place that would last his lifetime, our lifetime, and beyond. Unknowingly, Mr. Williams, in creating this park, left us a gathering place for many occasions. So as we commemorate the bicentennial of this school district, we should remember that on June 24th, 1925, a centennial pageant was organized and performed right here in Williams Park. The pageant depicted the early settling of Belleville and Reverend Joshua Bradley's role in encouraging the community to build a school for their children. Thus started the pursuit of education for their children right here. Many local people, some of them descendants, portrayed early settlers. This was a grand undertaking. With so much support, it was a true success. The Union Academy Board trustees are entrusted with the care and maintenance of this park. Trees are replaced and trimmed as needed. We recently added several trees donated by families honoring their loved ones. Thank you to the Belleville Henderson Central School maintenance staff who keeps the lawn mowed and helps with the tree care to keep the park in wonderful shape. In closing, may we all honor Mr. Williams's foresight in leaving us with a living legacy that he is still sharing with all of us today.
Good afternoon. As you can see in your program, there are 4 of us that have gotten together to create this event. Oops, my glasses, my daughter said. There are 4 of us who have been working for over 9 months on this celebration. The other person I cannot find in... Oh, there he is. Everybody turn around and look. Everybody turn. There he is. His name is Kirk Williams. He chose not to speak today, but we couldn't not thank him for what he's done. He has put up with 3 women, emails, text, phone calls. Can you do this? Will you do that? And last but not least, thank you, Debbie, for, there she is, she's right there, for letting him work with us for so long. I just want to say one thing about, many things to say about Kirk, but he is the caretaker of the bell tower. Today, he will be up in the belfry waiting for you to come up there, and he might even let you ring the bell. So every time you hear the bell ring, anytime you hear that dong, Think of Kirk Williams. Okay, working on this event has helped me remember all the people that have come before me and how the school has not only shaped my life, but the lives of so many more. I'm reminded daily of my direct ancestors who settled and stayed in the Ellisburg and Belleville area. I can see from my house where my third great-grandfather, Ozias Lee, one of the first settlers of Ellisburg, and later where my second great-grandfather, Alonzo Lee, farmed. I can see from my house where my great-grandfather, John Q. Lee, later my grandfather, Manfred Lee, my father, Howard Lee, lived, and now my sister, Jean Lee Mosier, lives. I drive by where my McClellan family built a stone house that is still standing at Keys Crossing, south of Ellisburg. My son is the 7th generation to be buried in the Ellisburg Cemetery. My great-grandfather, Walter Martin, was a Union Academy of Belleville trustee, as was my father, Howard Lee, now myself and my daughter, Jill Bettinger Pippin, our trustees. Although none attended the Union Literary Society, many of my ancestors attended the Union Academy of Belleville, Belleville Central School, and Belleville Henderson Central School. I hope I am making them proud of my contributions to this program today. Thank you.
On a side note, talking about the Book of Memory, there are pictures of the 100-year-old pageant inside, and you can see them over there if you want to peruse them. I'm Lydia Millard Miller. You'd think I could say that now, wouldn't you? A 1969 Belleville Central School graduate and a member of the Union Academy Board of Trustees. When I agreed to work with this committee for our 200th celebration, two things came to mind that encourages the formation of a community: land and education. The first is the important role land played in settling our area. Our ancestors discovered the richness of the soil and new farms would grow and prosper here. In turn, that would make settlers successful. The next was establishment of an educational system. Families living here were strongly encouraged to create a school for boys and girls that would result in richer, fuller lives. Through the hard work of the entire community, a school was literally started from nothing and has become known statewide as one of the finest schools in the area, even 200 years later. My whole life has been centered around Belleville and our school. I grew up learning about Union Academy of Belleville from my parents and my grandparents. Not in precise words, but more of an osmosis process. I've always understood what UAB represented and wanted to do my best to continue the traditions so many of our ancestors started. I'm proud to say that my family has a rich 8-generation history here in Belleville and at Belleville Union Academy, Belleville Central School, and now BHCS. Being part of this very momentous occasion has been a blessing for me. My hope is that our younger generation listened to the words of history shared here today and realize how unique their school and community is, especially in today's world of technology, family mobility, moving into our futures, but not leaving everything that was fought so hard for over the past 200 years. May we continue honoring the past and looking to the future. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate our history, and I'd like to say it was a real joy working with the others in our committee. And I probably would do it again.
college. We were inspired and motivated to plan this event because of the celebration that was done 100 years ago. We refer to them as the Centennials. They, many of them, were our ancestors and celebrated 100 years by putting on a pageant honoring the founders of Belleville and the Union Literary Society on June 24th, 1925. They divided their event into two parts. In the afternoon, the spirit of Belleville, portrayed by Miss Jenny Mather, came forth from the Book of Memory, which you can see right over there. That's the book. She was attended by sprites and knights. The knights were named Gallant Courage, Fervent Loyalty, Quiet Sacrifice, Far-Seeing Vision, and Wise Education. Many other characters put on a play portraying the history of the school. In the evening, there was a soiree given in honor of Jack Barney's return from college. They lit up Williams Park with 4 1,000-watt light bulbs. 2,500 people attended. They sold tickets for the event and they made money. They left us a book, and it's all here in this book along with pictures. As we progressed with our plans, 2 themes became very clear: connection and spirit. We can't deny the connection we have with the past individuals who labored to make our 200-year mark a success. We also must recognize the spirit that our forefathers exemplified and passed on to us. The energy of spirit and the connection to the past flows through us to the present and hopefully to our future. We have asked Madeline Green to read the essay which was published in the booklet the Centennial organizers left to us. She will be reading their words, not ours. So the words are a little weird, so understand that it comes from 100 years ago. But we wanted you to hear this because we think this is a fitting ending to our celebration. We hope you make the connection between us and them. We also believe that what she has to say is a great plan for our future. We will end our celebration as the Centennials did, with taps to honor those we have lost along the way, but are still here with us in spirit. After, we hope you connect with friends, visit the bell tower, peruse the historical displays where you can have your picture taken with Major Jack, and have refreshments. Thank you all for coming.
Union Academy is a spirit. Union Academy at Belleville is more than an institution of learning. Union Academy is more than a school located in a strictly agricultural community that has sent to all the world men and women who have been an inspiration and guide. Union Academy is a spirit that for 100 years has imbued the boys and girls who pass through its portals and has molded and inspired them for a lifetime of service. Not by accident has Union alumni been a shining mark wherever they have been set down in the busy eddies of life. Not through coincidence have they for a century been the beacons lighting a way to progress. Leadership, civil progress, simple faith in God, loving of mankind, a desire to help. These are the heritage of each succeeding class that has come from the fabulous school. It was the spirit of Union Academy that would not say die when fire laid low to the historic school. Before the embers had died, the Union spirit was planning for a newer and grander physical institution to rise from ruins. 100 years ago, the call of the spirit of Union made possible its founding amidst the privations of a new country and through the sacrifices of a people whose very existence was a bitter, continuous struggle. Half-century ago began a movement which kept the school going by the gift of money and time and service. It kept going through generations, instilling the old ideals. Now has come a new call, a call for sacrifice as great as any recorded in the noble lives of those who carried on through the dark days of the Academy. The response has been a new institution, modern in its plant, adequate in its equipment and facilities, but old in the spirit of union. Why have scores of persons given time and service and substance to rebuild Union Academy at Belleville? How has this been possible without levying a tax or issuing public bonds? What brought around the erection of a new building in record time under these unparalleled conditions? The Union Academy spirit has possessed its alumni and permeated the entire community. Congratulations are in order to those who have, by unaspiring effort, ceaseless planning, and sacrificial devotion, wrought this miracle go. Congratulations for the insight to grasp an opportunity to make the finest investment to which money could not be put. To the community of Belleville, Woodville, Ellisburg, Henderson, and other nearby points go congratulations for the possession of an institution that is aggressively American and will build for generations to come character and manhood and womanhood. To the boys and girls of this and the coming generations, congratulations, that they are to have educational opportunities unexceeded by any community, and the heritage of a century of Union Academy traditions and Union spirit. What is the Union spirit? Perhaps North Shepherdson best summed it up in his famous preface to the Memorial Endowment book when he quoted St. Paul. Isn't it a yearning for whatever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, and whatsoever things are of good report. May Union long continue to prosper in teaching that is a life program to her boys and girls.
Please stand as you are able and bow your heads for the playing of taps.
Things are of good report. May Union long continue to prosper in teaching that is a life program to her boys and girls.
Please stand as you are able and bow your heads for the playing of taps.
Thank you.